It was just past midnight when the alarm shattered the silence at the fire station, a piercing wail that jolted me upright. Station 10, Engine 8, structure fire at 112 Serenity Lane, Willow Grove Estates, the dispatcher's voice crackled. My heart sank. Serenity Lane was the choke point of our neighborhood, and I knew exactly what stood in our way, two massive boulders, plunked down by our HOA tyrant, Deborah Vance. She'd called them Serenity Stones, hard-to-come traffic. I'd called them a disaster waiting to happen. Now, as Engine 8 roared out of the bay, I braced for the worst. I'm Tom, a volunteer firefighter for 15 years, and this was the night Deborah's arrogance would burn brighter than the fire we were racing to fight. Willow Grove Estate sounds like a postcard: shady trees, neat lawns, kids on bikes. But under Deborah's reign, it was a pressure cooker of petty rules and fines. As HOA president, she patrolled in a golf cart she dubbed the Overseer, armed with a ruler to measure grass and a glare that could sour milk. My mailbox, a trusty beige relic, was fined for not being ash on top. My buddy Mike, an accountant with a knack for spotting errors, got slapped for coiling his hose counterclockwise. Old man Charlie, our neighborhood eccentric, was cited for his plastic flamingos leaning at disruptive angles. Deborah's latest obsession was beautification, which meant forcing red geraniums into every flower box and installing solar lights so dim they only lit up the snails. Each project came with a glossy newsletter, her smiling face plastered next to some overpriced nonsense our dues funded. I'd seen plenty as a firefighter people's worst days, homes reduced to ash. But nothing prepared me for Deborah's boulders. She announced them in a newsletter thick enough to stop a bullet, hyping a Serenity Lane enhancement, with no details. When the flatbed rolled in, it dumped two SUV-sized rocks at the lane's narrowest curve, the only route for our fire engine to reach the back of the neighborhood. Serenity Lane was tight on a good day, now, it was a gauntlet. I confronted her that day, the air thick with neighbors' mamas. Deborah, Engine 8 can't fit through this, I said, fighting to stay calm. She waved me off, pink-haired, her tilted smugly. Thomas, it's approved by the HOA. Your truck needs better drivers. Her voice dripped condescension. These are Serenity Stones, not obstacles. Mike, standing nearby, muttered, she's lost it. Charlie rode up with two flamingos in a wheelbarrow, plopping them atop a boulder as safety inspectors. Deborah's face went crimson, fining him for flamingo misuse. I filed a complaint with the fire marshal, but bureaucracy moves like molasses. Those rocks stayed, a ticking bomb. Deborah's rules grew crazier. She fined Mrs. Larson, an 82-year-old widow, for unauthorized bird feeding. A kid's basketball hoop was confiscated for aesthetic discord. Violation notices flew like confetti, each a jab at our sanity. Mike and I started documenting the chaos: photos of delivery drivers abandoning packages, garbage bins overflowing because trucks couldn't pass. We got a petition signed by half the neighborhood, demanding the boulders removal. Deborah's response: a memo about proper feedback channels, and a 7-page form no one could navigate. Then came the scare that changed everything. Mr. Thompson had a heart attack, and the ambulance, stuck at the boulders, lost precious minutes. He survived, but Deborah's response was chilling. Perhaps Mr. Thompson should have followed our wellness tips newsletter. The crowd gasped. Mike's face hardened. She's not just pettish, heartless, he said. I felt a fire ignite inside me. This wasn't about aesthetics, it was about lives. Suspecting more than ego, Mike and I dug into HOA finances. Deborah's project's boulders, mailboxes, lights cost a fortune. We pestered the treasurer, a skittish guy named Harold, for records. The spreadsheets were vague, but the boulder supplier, Granite Harmony LLC, was registered to a Deborah Stone at a P.O. box. Charlie, In his war against Deborah's rose bushes, he swore they hid rebel aphids, found a crumpled invoice from Elite Landscape Visions, with payment to Deborah's personal account. It wasn't proof of fraud, but it stank. She's skimming our dues, Mike said, eyes wide. We need a smoking gun. Deborah, sensing resistance, installed cameras on lampposts, their lenses aimed at dissidents like me and Charlie. It was intimidation, plain and simple. She was untouchable, so she thought. That night, as Engine 8 screamed toward Serenity Lane, the boulders loomed in our headlights, mocking us. Captain Dan, a grizzled vet, gripped the wheel. Those damn rocks, he growled. No way around, Cap, I said. He radioed command, Engine 8, roadway obstruction. Request permission to mitigate. The response was swift, clear to proceed. Dan floored it. The impact was brutal. Metal screamed, sparks flew, and one boulder crumbled like cheap concrete. We lurched through, the truck battered but moving. Then, a figure emerged from 114 Serenity Lane, Deborah, in a neon green robe, colors bouncing, filming us with her phone. Vandals, she shrieked. You're ruining community property. I'll sue your whole department. Her voice was a banshee's wail, oblivious to the orange glow down the street. Dispatch crackled, update, fire confirmed at 112 Serenity Lane complainant's residence. Mike's eyes met mine. That's Deborah's house. The glow became a raw, flames devouring her perfect colonial. Propane tanks in her outdoor kitchen exploded, sending shrapnel pinging off our truck. Deborah froze, her phone clattering to the ground. Her smugness vanished, replaced by raw terror. She stumbled toward us, slippers flapping. My babies. Sugar and Spice, my poodles. They're in the bedroom, please. Her voice broke, tears carving tracks through soot. The HOA queen was gone, just a woman begging for her dogs. It was the first human thing I'd seen from her, and it threw me. Life safety was priority. Humans, then animals. But her panic hit the part of me that gets why people love their pets. Dan backed orders, Tom, Jenkins, primary search, second floor. Move. We masked up, axes ready, and kicked in her front door, it slamming us like a fist. Inside was hell. Smoke choked our lungs, flames roared across ceilings. We crawled, shouting for Sugar and Spice. Outside, crews hacked through Deborah's prized to Pereslian-shaped shops she'd bragged about at competitions, clearing space for ladders. Her award-winning lilies met an axe, much flying. We hit the stairs, each step a gamble as the fire spread. The master bedroom was an inferno, unsalvageable. Then, a faint yip from a side room. I kicked the door, and there they were, two trembling poodles under a vanity, eyes wide with fear. I scooped them up, their tiny bodies shaking. Got 'em. I yelled to Jenkins. Getting out was a gauntlet. Flames licked our gear, timbers groaned. We burst onto the lawn, handing the dogs to Deborah. She collapsed, sobbing, clutching Sugar and Spice like lifelines. We turned to the fire, pouring thousands of gallons into the wreckage. Her designer furniture drowned, her ashen top walls blistered. The house stood, but its heart was gutted. As dawn broke, Deborah sat on the curb, blanket-wrapped, poodles licking her tears. The fire marshal arrived, and police took her phone. Her own footage now evidence against her for obstructing us. Charges for impeding emergency services hit her by morning. The town cleared the boulder debris, billing her. The HOA's insurance refused to cover our truck's repairs, slapping her with a 5-figure tab. Our financial breadcrumbs sparked an investigation into her spending. Her kingdom was collapsing. 2 days later, the HOA met in a stunned haze. Harold, suddenly bold, backed a new bylaw ensuring clear emergency access, passed unanimously. Deborah's rules. Half her bylaws were scrapped. Her house a ruin, her power gone, she faced legal and financial ruin. Months later, Willow Grove breathed easy. Charlie planned a block party, his flamingos now mood directors. My grilled burgers, defying old bounds. Then Deborah appeared, no suit, just jeans and fatigue, sugar and spice at her heels. Tom, I'm sorry, she said, handing me an envelope donation for the fire station. We are selling, moving on. She walked away, dogs trotting, fading into the quiet street. Justice wasn't just her downfall, it was the neighborhood's clear roads, real laughter, a bully humbled. But as I watched her go, I wondered, could she ever grasp the chaos she'd sown, or was this just a costly lesson in a war she'd already lost?